Disclaimer, I'm literally so tired. Good night, hope you enjoy. In Act 2, Scene 3 of Othello, the scene begins with Othello putting Cassio in charge of the celebration, with specific instruction for the men on guard practice to drink moderately. Once Othello and Desdemona leave, Iago and Cassio talk about Desdemona and praise her beauty. Iago suggests that Desdemona is a seductress, but Cassio doesn't agree. Iago turns the conversation and tries to convince Cassio, who has a low alcohol tolerance, to drink.
To the watch.
Not this hour, Lieutenant. 'Tis not yet 10 off clock. Our general cast us thus early for the love of his Desdemona, who yet let us therefore blame. He hath not yet made wanton to the night with her, and she is sport for Jove.
She's a most exquisite lady.
And all warrants her full of game.
Indeed, she's a most fresh and delicate creature.
What an eye she has! Methinks it sounds a parley to provocation.
An inviting eye, and yet methinks right modest.
And when she speaks,
While Cassio exits to let visitors in, Iago tells the audience of his plan to create an event where Iago offends the people of Cyprus. Am I to put our Cassio in some action that may offend the isle? When Cassio returns with Montano and the other revelers, he and the revelers sing and drink. Cassio claims to be completely sober when he is, in fact, drunk. Cassio exits and Iago tells Montano that Cassio is a good soldier, but has a horrible drinking problem, and therefore cannot handle the responsibilities that Othello has given him as
Very
lieutenant.
well then, you must not think then that I am drunk.
Montano tells Iago to report this to Othello, but Iago pretends to have Cassio's best interests at heart and says it's best for him not to do that. Meanwhile, Iago sends Rodrigo to pick a fight with Cassio. Cassio chases Rodrigo angrily saying, "Zounds, you rogue, you rascal." Montano tries to intervene and notes that Cassio is drunk, but Cassio then picks a fight with him. During their fight, Iago sends Rodrigo to raise alarm and Cassio injures Montano. Othello enters with his attendants and puts an end to the fighting and asks how it started. Iago and Cassio say they don't know what happened, and Montano claims he's too injured to speak, but that Iago knows the full story. Iago tells Othello the story of what happened, in which he makes Othello think that he's trying to make Cassio look as good as possible. However, Othello says he must dismiss Cassio as an officer. Everyone exists except for Cassio and Iago, which is when Cassio despairs at his lost reputation and says he plans to ask Othello for his position back. As part of his plan, Iago advises him to talk to Desdemona so that she can put in a good word to Othello since he's so in love with her. Cassio thanks him for his counsel and exits. He delivers a soliloquy where he reveals that he will try to convince Othello that she is helping Cassio out of lust for him. Rodrigo enters angry at the fact that Cassio beat him in a fight that he's given so much money to Iago. The scene ends off with Iago stating his plan in which he will get his wife to set up a private meeting between Cassio and Desdemona, and that he will make sure that Othello will observe.